Welcome back to It Takes Two. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Naomi. And wow, do we have a vibey topic for you today, Ethan?
Oh, it's definitely VB. We're talking about something that's apparently got the tech world buzzing, confusing people left and right.
Indeed, the term of the hour or maybe the year, depending on who you ask, is vibe coding. Have you heard this phrase, Ethan?
I have, and honestly, my initial reaction was something like, is this a new TikTok trend for programmers? Like, are they choosing their code base based on aesthetics?
I love that. Does this JavaScript framework match my dark mode aesthetic? But no, it's slightly more complex and also, in one case, completely different.
Right. So thanks to this deep dive article we read, it turns out there are two main vibes we need to talk about.
Exactly, and the most prominent one right now, the one causing the buzz, is the I-driven concept.
Yes, the concept popularized by the one and only Andrej Karpathy in early 2025.
The very same. So, according to him and this concept, vibe coding is basically using large language models, like ChatGPT or whatever fancy AI is out there, to generate software.
You just tell the AI what you want, right? In natural language, like, hey AI, build me a website that suggests lunch based on fridge contents.
Precisely, and the AI just, poof, generates the code.
Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Speed, accessibility, democratization of software creation, the article says.
Definitely a big benefit. Think about people who aren't coders but have great ideas. They can potentially build things now.
Or entrepreneurs wanting to spin up an MVP, like yesterday.
Yes, rapid prototyping is a huge win here. Get your idea out, test it, see if it flies.
And apparently some startup batches are already 95 AI-generated codebases. That's wild.
Isn't that insane? Like powered by the vibes.
So, is it like you prompt the AI, it spits out code, and you just hit deploy?
Well, the most pure definition, the one Karpathy's famous quote touches on, involves potentially minimizing direct code interaction and review.
Minimizing, as in accept all suggestions mode?
Even more so, the article quotes Karpathy saying it's a state where you fully give in to the vibes, embrace exponentials, and forget that the code even exists.
FORGEE, the code exists?
Yes. Apparently you just see things, say things, run things, and copy-paste things, and it mostly works.
Mostly works is not a phrase I want associated with the software running my bank account. Just saying.
Ha! Preach, Ethan. And this is where the big drawbacks and criticisms come in.
Oh, I can imagine. If you forget the code exists, how do you know what it's actually doing?
Exactly. Code quality is a huge concern. The AI might write spaghetti code, unoptimized, or just weird stuff.
So your code base becomes a spaghetti garbage dump?
That's one charming description the article mentioned, yes. Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
And security, if you're not reviewing, you could be importing vulnerabilities without even knowing it.
A major risk. Lack of understanding means lack of accountability and crucially increased security flaws.
Debugging must be a nightmare. Trying to fix code you didn't write and don't understand. That sounds like my Monday mornings.
It's Kernighan's law all over again. Debugging is harder than writing code, amplified when I wrote it based on vibes.
And maintain it, BD. If you build a quick MVP based on vibes, and it actually takes off, suddenly you have this thing you can't easily update or fix.
Leading to potential rewrites. The article calls this trading short-term velocity for potentially significant long-term costs.
So, speed now, technical debt forever?
Precisely, it's like taking out a code loan with variable, potentially crippling interest rates.
Okay, that's a great analogy. What about limitations? Can I code complex things?
The article suggests that AI struggles with novel algorithms or niche domains where it lacks training data. It might even hallucinate solutions.
And I hallucinating code. That's a thought.
Or straight up giving you wrong information. Remember, I can be wrong.
Right, so blind trust is a bad idea.
Also, constant reliance could lead to skill atrophy. If you always let the AI write the code, do you lose the ability to write it yourself?
Deskilling developers, that's a bit scary.
And it can get expensive. All those prompts and iterations racking up API credits.
So it's not exactly free magic code.
Nope. Plus, sometimes the AI just refuses or hits a wall.
Leaving you hanging, vibeless.
Exactly. So while it's exciting for quick projects and learning, the pure vibe coding concept has some serious red flags for production software.
Makes sense. But the article mentions an emerging trend towards more structured methodologies. So maybe not everyone is embracing the full forget the code approach.
Definitely. There's a move towards integrating AI assistance with established engineering practices, like using detailed requirements testing.
Okay, that sounds much more responsible. AI as a powerful tool, not a magic black box you pray mostly works.
Right? It's about leveraging AI's power while keeping human oversight and structure, like using AI to help write code but still reviewing, testing, documenting.
Phew, okay. So AI-driven vibe coding, big buzz, potential for speed asses, huge risks if you don't understand or review the code. Got it.
Nailed it. But now Ethan, for the other vibe.
Ah yes, the potential source of confusion. This one is called vibe.d.
Yes, vibe.d. Completely, utterly, totally unrelated to AI code generation.
Even though it sounds exactly like the other thing.
Technology names everyone. Anyway, vibe.d is a framework.
A web framework specifically. For which programming language, Naomi?
The deep programming language.
D, huh, not Python. Not JavaScript, not Java. D.
Yep, and it's been around for a while. Created by SN Ludwig.
So this isn't some brand new 2020-25 concept.
Nope. This is an established, mature framework within the deal language ecosystem. Years of development.
Okay, so what does it do, besides causing name confusion?
It's for high-performance asynchronous I/O in web development. It uses lightweight fibers for concurrency.
Fibers, not threads?
Fibers. User space threads, super efficient. Allows you to write code that looks synchronous but handles thousands of connections.
That sounds technical and efficient.
It is. Performance is a big selling point for vibe.d, and scalability.
Okay, so technical performance versus conceptual speed via II, clear distinction.
Exactly. Vibe.d is about building solid, scalable back-end systems in D.
And it has all the standard framework stuff, HTTP, WebSockets, REST, EAPs.
Yep, it's modular now, apparently split into different packages like Vibe Core, Vibe HTTP, etc.
Modular vibes.
Modular, technically sound vibes. It even has database drivers built in for MongoDB, Redis.
Serious stuff, used in production too, right? Like the deal language to our website itself runs on it.
Correct. So this is a real production-ready tool, not a buzzy new concept built on generative AI.
All right, the benefits for vibe.d seem pretty clear then performance, scalability, and developer productivity if you're working in D.
Right. For D programmers, it's a great tool.
But drawbacks? I'm guessing the biggest one is the deal language itself.
Ouch, but yes. The article highlights the smaller ecosystem compared to Python or Java. Fewer libraries, fewer developers.
Lower adoption rate compared to the big players naturally.
Exactly. And obviously you need to learn D to use it effectively. That's a barrier.
Okay, so vibe.d is a strong niche framework for a less mainstream language.
Spot on. It's technically robust, but its reach is limited by D's popularity.
So the confusion is purely about the name then?
Entirely. One is an AI-assisted paradigm, maybe a bit loosey-goosey with forgetting the code, The other is a structured, high-performance web framework for D.
It's like the universe decided to mess with us and give totally different things names that sound almost the same when spoken quickly.
Or like a dad joke programmer trying to confuse people at a conference.
Hey, are you doing vibe coding? Which one? Are you talking about trusting an AI, or are you building a high-performance sasing server in D?
Hilarity ensues. Or maybe just confused silence.
So the AI vibe coding is the new kid on the block, grabbing headlines full of promise and peril.
Yup. Exciting for learning and rapid MVPs, maybe terrifying for production code without strict controls.
And vibe. D is the quiet, reliable, high achiever in the corner, patiently waiting for more people to discover D.
Pretty much. Solid, proven tech, just not in the mainstream spotlight.
So when someone says vibe coding, we need to immediately ask for clarification.
Absolute necessity. Are we AI vibing or D-vibing?
I'm coining that phrase I vibing versus D vibing.
I like it. Let's get t-shirts made.
Future of software? It feels like there might be a split.
The article touched on that potentially a bifurcation. AI enabling simple stuff for non-experts.
While complex systems still need highly skilled engineers who can manage the AI outputs.
Right. Less rote coding, more architecture, testing, and AI wrangler skills.
So maybe not a job killer for developers, but definitely a job changer.
That seems likely. The engineer becomes more of a conductor for an AI orchestra, making sure they don't just play random notes.
And debugging the weird noise the AI violin is making.
Exactly. The poorly maintained AI symphonies might need a whole new type of engineer to fix.
The spaghetti garbage dump clean-up crew.
That's the one. Not the most appealing job description, but perhaps necessary.
So, to wrap up our vibe check, vibe coding exciting, risky, relies on LLMs. Forget the code at your peril.
Vibe. Destable, performant, for the deal language, relies on fibers, not related to AI coding concepts.
Got it? One is a trend, the other is tech for a specific language.
Precision is key in the age of AI-generated buzzwords.
Indeed, and on that note, we should probably wrap up this segment.
Wise move before we get lost in more code-forgetting analogies.
Or accidentally downloaded a compiler thinking it's an AI assistant.
Could happen. Thanks for clarifying the vibes with me, Ethan.
My pleasure, Naomi. Always takes two to angle tech jargon.
Especially when the jargon is this confusing.
Alright, stick around, because after the break,
We're talking about something slightly less vibey, but potentially just as interesting.